Our film begins with people who love to climb mountains and high altitude areas and become climbers without any problems. When Dan reaches a hole, he wants to put the rope in it, but suddenly a bird appears and swoops him, so Dan falls from the mountain and is tied with ropes. Dan tries to swing himself until he catches the mountain, but Dan suddenly falls from the top of the mountain and dies. Then his wife Becky falls into a state of depression for a very long period of time and does not want to talk to anyone, even her father. So her father called her friend Hunter to go to Becky and try to get her out of the state of depression she was going through, and Hunter actually convinced her and also convinced her that they would continue climbing the mountains together. She also convinced her to climb the 2,000-foot television tower and throw Dan's ashes from the television tower. After thinking a lot in the end, Becky agreed to climb the tower. They did not know where the tower was, but when they were in the restaurant, they asked the waitress where the tower was and she told them that they did not need a map and pointed to the light coming from the tower. Becky was surprised and asked why it had a light on and it wasn't working. She told her so that planes would not crash into it, and that it was abandoned and would be demolished next winter. So Hunter took Becky's mobile phone to charge it and charged it in a strange way. On the same day, Becky sleeps and dreams of her husband Dan, and we know that he did not respond to her when she said to him, "I love you," and Dan responded to her with numbers, and we do not know the meaning of these numbers. Then Hunter goes to her and they travel to the tower, and when they arrive, they find eagles eating a dog. So Hunter filmed it and then posted it on Instagram. She tells Becky that the photo has received 350 likes, and Hunter keeps filming videos and telling people that this is the fourth largest tower in the United States. There is a staircase inside that is 1,800 feet high, but Becky was afraid to climb and told her that she would not be able. But Hunter supported her and motivated her and told her that Dan would be proud of her, and she tied the rope to her and they began climbing. But as you can see, the tower has been eaten away by rust because it has been abandoned for a long time. But they did not notice that, and when they went up, we discovered that the tower's nails were not fixed. After they climbed a large section, Becky told Hunter to rest a little. Hunter tells her that they reached half the tower and that this is the same height as the Eiffel Tower, and they continued climbing until they reached its opening and climbed out of it. This means that they will climb 200 feet without an iron cage, so Becky will be afraid. But Hunter tells her that you must overcome your fear, so they continue and climb the stairs until they reach the antenna dishes. Hunter wanted to joke with Becky, so she held the ladder and shook it. Of course, she did not notice that she had unscrewed the screws. Then they continued climbing until they reached the highest place in the tower, which is approximately 2,000 feet high. They were watching the city below them as if it were a game. They filmed themselves a lot and were in a state of joy that they had managed to reach the top of the tower. Then Hunter went down and held the iron with one hand to take pictures and post them on Instagram. When she got up, she told Becky to do the same and not be afraid, and Becky actually did the same. Then Becky goes up and throws her husband Dan's ashes, and she is very emotional, and she and Hunter cry. So they finish what they want to do. They go up the tower and throw Dan's ashes from the top of the tower. When they wanted to go down, we found that all of the nails had come loose and they fell, and Hunter would have fallen as well, because they were tied to the same rope. But Hunter was able to hold herself together and continued pulling Becky until she got up, but her foot was injured. And they thought about how they would act in this situation. You also think about what if you were in their place. What you would do. The first thing they think of is to call someone, but there is no network. Because they are at a very high altitude, there is no transmission, and Becky sees a small box that contains binoculars and a distress pistol, but it only contains one bullet. After a while, they are thirsty, and Becky tells her that they will die of thirst because the bag containing the water is on the antenna and they do not know how they will reach it. And after several hours have passed and they do not know what they will do, Hunter remembers that there was a net below when she uploaded the picture of the dog, so she decided to ask for help on Instagram, and tied the mobile phone to the rope they had with them and lowered it down. Perhaps it would catch a network. But unfortunately, they do not hear the sound of the post being published, so Hunter descends the stairs until the distance is close. But it also does not receive a signal, so Becky thinks about throwing the mobile phone on the ground and ensuring that the post is published. They put the mobile phone inside Hunter's shoe to protect it from breakage and force from above. Then they discover that there is a man and a dog underneath. They called out to him, but of course he did not listen. They called out to him in a loud voice, but he did not hear either. The man left and we noticed that the mobile phone was on the ground and broken. This means that the post was not published, and you notice the number written on Hunter's foot. we hope that you focus on the number because it contains important words." Then we find the man downstairs heading to a car that was close to him. Becky wanted to use the distress gun, but Hunter told her to wait until the sun went down so the man could see them. As they sit, Becky watches the wedding video and notices that Hunter is unhappy at the wedding. Hunter tells her to use the gun before the man leaves. Indeed, at the last moment, the man notices the bullet in the sky, and the man goes to the gate where Hunter's car is, but unfortunately he steals the car and leaves. Becky and Hunter are sad because the opportunity they had is gone. Then Becky tells Hunter that her husband did not respond to her when she told him that she loved him. He always answered her with the numbers on her foot. Here is the surprise. Hunter admitted the relationship that existed between her and Dan and that she loved him very much, and here we know why she was sad in wedding, but Hunter tells her that she loved her more so she broke up with him. Hunter kept feeling sorry for her, but Becky was sad and surprised. After sunrise, Hunter goes down to get the bag of water, but before she descended, she felt very sorry for Becky for what she had done, because she was afraid that she would die after descending. Hunter then lowered the rope, but she was unable to reach the bag, and there was a very small distance separating her from the bag, so she decided to untie herself and jump on the antenna, and she actually reached it. She did not know how she would reach the rope again, so she took out the selfie stick and used it to hang the bag on the rope. Indeed, the plan succeeded and Becky began to pull her up, but before she could reach Hunter a short distance, her hands weakened and she fell. Becky was shocked and was afraid to look and find that she had died. When she looked at her, she found Hunter sitting on the bag and asking her to pull it out because her hands were injured. Becky kept pulling her until Hunter climbed upstairs. Becky drank the water, found a pen and paper, wrote on it that she wanted help, and wrote the location. She put it in the drone they had with them, but it was about to stop charging, so she returned it quickly before it was separated and they lost it. Night falls on them and they sleep, but Becky does not find Hunter and is very afraid that she fell from the top of the tower and died. But then she looks back and finds Hunter dead. The eagles were eating there, but she was surprised that she was dreaming, and when she woke up, Hunter told her that she wanted to reach the light above so that she could charge the drone, just as she charged her mobile phone in the restaurant. Becky actually goes up, unscrews the light, and connects the charger, but an eagle attacks her because of her injured foot, and the bag falls from her. Hunter did not try to catch her, and when Becky came down, I asked her why you didn't grab the bag. She evaded the question. She told her to send the drone to the restaurant, but after 2 hours, so that people in the restaurant could see it, at 10 o'clock, Becky sent the drone, and before it could reach a very close distance, the drone collided with a car and the drone did not arrive. Becky kept crying because this opportunity was lost, but the strange thing is that Hunter's reaction was not normal, and after the sun went down, Becky was tired. She tells Hunter that she is unable to continue. Hunter told her that she should not give up because of the vultures attacking around her because of the smell of blood on her feet. She told her that she must eat anything to provide her with energy, and Becky said to her, "We must send another message." She asked her for the shoes, and Hunter replied to her that she could not give them to her. When Becky asked her about the reason, Hunter told her because she was down and the shoes were also down, because she fell and could not hold the bag and continued bleeding until she died. Becky looks down and finds that Hunter is already dead and the vultures are eating her body. From her fear, she imagines Hunter with her all that time. Becky collapsed at night and made a video for her father, telling him that she did not want to die and wanted to return home again, and she told him that he was right about everything, and by the time he watches the video, she will be dead. At that time, her father was trying to contact her and did not know how to reach her. When the sun rises, we find that Becky has passed out and the eagle is eating from the wound on her foot, but she attacked the eagle and killed it in order to eat from it and provide her with some energy. Then she goes down to Hunter's body, writes a letter, puts it inside the shoe, and places it on her body in the place where the eagles used to eat, and she throws her scavengers on the ground. Finally, the message reaches her father, and he goes to the tower and finds the police there, and Becky goes to him to hug him. The movie ends here. If you liked the movie and want to receive everything new, hit the like and subscribe to the channel. See you next movie.